competitive play.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Flair's been playing tanks for so very long for this team in the LCS, which has surprised me because this is still like a guy who's like top 5 solo queue in NA. Like, I know Flair's can be very, very good.
And in solo queue, he plays Hecarim and Riven and Rumble. He plays things to kill you.
Yeah, and I see so many teams, you know, kind of push their top laners onto the more tank-like tops, and maybe that's fine, but right now it's not working for him as a player and for him as a team. The Gangplank ban does come through to replace Thresh, so that's exactly what the analyst has called for. We'll see what Coast does, and if they care about the Thresh that much.
Yeah, do they even care about the Elise that much? Because you have to balance your first pick priority here. It looks like it does not account for that much, and they just show off the first pick here as well.
Man, this is what Chris played in the semifinal match. He played up against C9T, the solo king, and it was Olaf against Gnar, and then the reverse matchup, Gnar against Olaf. At both times, Chris won the matchup really hard.
Yeah, that's why I think it's weird to use your first round pick on. I guess that Shrimp does not even really care about the Elise pick at all.
Yeah, I think he's totally fine playing it.
I don't see Flair stealing Olaf away from you, and I don't see you really losing anything by taking Olaf later either.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to.
Maybe it is a Shrimp pick, and he's going to jungle it.
There's always a chance, honestly. I really can't argue with that one. There's always the
very small chance.
Of course, but, you know, Reyna overdoes it, and he's pretty damn good at League of Legends, too. NME eSports, after seeing the Olaf, going to look for their picks. They did Braum Elise last time. And this time around, they say, you know what, let's take the Braum still, but let's steal away the Tristana.
All right, 2 jungle bans stay, but nobody cares about the jungle picks. Weird how this is going.
Just as far as the tier list is concerned, it's just not quite as high. Shrimp will get the Elise, and Pekin Wolf actually raises the Azir priority and says, yeah, you know what, this actually is very strong for us.
Yeah, and Shrimp, that means he definitely will pick up the Elise. Gets it second round even. And the Alistar is still available for Conquan. He played really well on it, actually.
Yeah.
Key player right there, able to get right back to Inox. Wonder if Inox will even be confident running more poke into it, because that's his, like they talked about, that's been his successful play style, are the Varus and the Kog'Maws. And they gave away Azir again as well, and that's what you want to run into it if you're not running an assassin who will be able to kill her early.
Yeah. I do think this composition will work a little bit better. Gragas can displace so that Olaf is left alone in the front line, and Trist Cog can kind of focus that down. I think we still see Inox save his mid lane pick for last. I expect to see Olaf's matchup picked right now, and we just make sure. And Malphite will be the choice, so actually enemy can go full aggressive now instead and dive past the Olaf potentially. Sivir immediately locked in. Mash will get Chris into the back line right away. Very different champs like here.
This is nerfed Sivir as well, too.
Yes.
So a lot of people actually, Sivir dropped off quite a bit. This is going to be, you have to pay attention to where your team is when you first pop the ultimate. So Chris will have to be near him at the very beginning. So it adds a little bit more coordination necessary to pull off the Sivir Olaf Zerg style. But you can still do it. The other thing is that spell shielding Malphite ultimate from Vision is actually not very hard. If you do have Fog of War advantage, though, then it makes it a lot more difficult, and you can even actually go for Flash Malphite ultimates just to guarantee that you do hit it. But I have to say, maybe he'll just be going for the Azir in the backline instead. Much easier target to get it off on.
Until he gets Zonius, and then you have the exact same problem again, where he's immune to your spells and all as well. So the Thresh does come through. The ban was dropped by NME eSports. Conquan did pick it up after all. Interesting that NME was so concerned about banning Thresh, and then they just first pick Braum as though it's still an important steal.
Yeah, the kind of wonky priorities with the picks and bans.
Yeah.
Banning out 2 jungles as well and letting jungle go through to second round. But yeah, Conquan will get the Thresh this time around. Playmaking ability for the bottom lane.
Yep. Well, at least Shrimp is not on a hard carry jungler. Of course, he can gank and get his team ahead that way, and of course, he can be very effective, but he's not one of those, you know, get 600 farm, win the game by yourself. And Victor comes through for Inox, another mid-range aggressive champion. So enemy, last game was all about sitting back and playing poke. Now it's all about going forward and layering the damage.
Yeah, I also do like, actually, Victor into Olaf, because it really does help out to have that huge burst when Olaf charges in, pops his ultimate, and loses the resistances to try and just burst him down. If he gets a little bit of damage, then it's actually terrible for your team. You don't want damage over time for him. You want everybody to try and burst him down so he doesn't get his extra attack speed when he's charging in. So I actually do like Victor into it, even though it's kind of contrary, and you're like, oh, that's really scary. Victor doesn't have any escapes.
Well, he has at least a refreshing move speed buff.
Right.
He can like try to kite with.
It's like that game of chicken where you're like, all right, come
run
at me,
run at me, see what happens.
Do I have enough to fully burst you, or do I get you to 10% and then die to your insane lifesteal and attack speed?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. All right, that's going to be one thing to watch for then. Chris, who did extremely well over in Game 1, and now if the enemy backline can deal with him. But Coast once again building around Peek and Wolf and Chris, changing up their other 3 picks. Yeah. Actually, 4 of their picks in this game. We'll see what the comp comes to in this one. And we had a good early game in the first one.
Yeah. Plus, we're going to have that legendary Elise plus Thresh synergy, which is so good. Great for picking people off. Great for invading because you can Lantern where she repels, even if there's no minions around. Or she can have a free escape.
Jump right down, get out. It's going to be one to watch for, guys. So you guys at home, keep updating those votes on Twitter. Hashtag CST winner, hashtag NME win at LOL eSports. Let us know how it's going to go in this one. Coast leading 1-0 so far in this series. Everyone changing their champions up. 4 new champs per team as we get ourselves into this game. And let's see if Enemy can hold on to their LCS spot, or if Coast can be the next one into the LCS. Here we go, Game 2.
Yeah, let's see. Inox with his second try at counter-picking Azir. First try didn't work out so well. Maybe there will be more mid-lane focus as well, since Victor does have a more impressive early game than Kog'Maw.
Yeah, well, we saw him play different champions in Game 1, this time a bit more similar, but Peek and Wolf explains that there was a major difference between himself and his opponent.
Uh-oh. Chris going to get attacked here, and they get the proc off.
And he's going to take the Lantern and get right the heck out. Conquan is forced to start Lantern. So, bit of aggression. We were going to talk about what Peek and Wolf talked about, the various mid laners, but we're maybe past that point now.
30 seconds until minions.
So that means that they only get semi-deep wards here to see jungle starts. All right, now that everything has calmed down, let's bring up Inox.
His play style, I think he plays a lot more of like assassin roles or carry roles. I've been picking those up recently, and right now I mostly play poke champions. I haven't really seen that he plays much of that, even though he used to play a lot of AP Nidalee. But I think that our playstyles are pretty different, that I'm more of a safe supportish type one, and he's a carry type.
Well, that was certainly the case back when Enemy was in the Challenger scene. Inox was far and away the best performing individual player in Challenger. In the spring split, he did not quite bring that dominance into the LCS. Enemy had a pretty poor run of it.
Yeah, Chris looking to take that crown. Relegation promotion king. Good Game 1 for him. Let's see how the Olaf comes out. Double jungling is also really good for Olaf. Not only does your top laner want to tank everything, but Olaf will even increase the damage that he does while double jungling and tanking all the damage for you.
Make it plenty fast here, so they're going to be just fine to do whatever they want. We will once again have the mirrored lane matchup. Sivir actually quite good in the Tristana. You can spell shield the end of explosive charge. You don't have to do the beginning of it. I believe you can also spell shield the 4th hit of Braum passive. So lots of good things for Mash here. Can honestly outplay a lot of what this lane wants to do to him.
Not to mention the Thresh ability to flay her out of rocket jump.
That's also
for extra stylish kills.
But of course, Conquest had to learn Lantern at level 1 to save Chris, so he's not going to have any lane pressure at all. And body drop plus Otter.
I was wondering why they were getting
as hard as they can.
Smash so hard here and bullet off. Yeah. You're right. The Lantern start there for Conquan. They only get behind a little bit though. Still have. Oh, good Braum. Well, I think he denied one.
Yeah, he blocked
one
the
melee.
Q, and as long as melee minions will hit the target you want, then it'll get a little bit of damage coming through.
Yeah, definitely like to use that on cannon minions as often as possible. Try and deny those. Yeah,
Melee's has a stack. We'll see if they can last these properly. You can prep this.
Yeah, he's not charging up the passive there. I wonder if he even leveled it up. Nope, didn't even get Flay, so he's going to have to do it all on skill. Oh, he got it.
All right, nicely done. Conquan gets himself the cannon, and all is well. Tiniest of gold leads for Enemy eSports at the very beginning of this game. The top lane matchup so far is equal in the Malphite versus Olaf battle. That'll be a interesting one to watch for.
I get drawn into the just CSing whenever the camera just stays on bottom lane.
That's like all I used to cast.
And every missed melee does hurt.
Yeah. It hurts by 20 gold.
All right.
Actually, 21.
I'll return to my original focus. Jungler. Shrimp's going to head up top with the double buff here. It's so hard to get away from Olaf, too.
Coming through. Flair's going to have to flash Cocoon. He flashes early. Cocoon's going to land. And look at the damage output. He's got no way out. Kill goes over to Shrimp. Chris holds aggro, and all is well.
Yeah, that's going to make the Malphite-Olaf matchup even worse. Even though Chris didn't have his flash early because of the level 1 dealio, now he's going to be able to just punish this Malphite in lane very heavily. Malphite already, his basic strategy versus Olaf is to just continue to CS and try and hold lane. But now he's going to have to deal with constant true damage spam from Olaf. The thing with Olaf is it's very easy for him to continue to hit Malphite and not let you regenerate your passive shield, which takes away a lot of Malphite's strength. So unless Malphite gives up, you know, a minion or two in order to regenerate that shield, either way, Olaf is going to gain a small advantage.
There's a spell shield, matches things for the mana, and Otter wonders why he even cast spell in the first place. Yeah, so difficult things. No TP for Flares means he walks back in, gets to lane just now while being down 9 CS.
Yeah.
The unfortunate thing was Flares actually invested in an early pink ward and had he had it in the river brush, but Shrimp had actually gone through the jungle. He'd gone in from near the mid lane through Raptors and got right around it.
He walked up through Trashy's jungle, who honestly is the guy I expected to gank top early because of the blown flash.
How exactly did you get away?
He didn't, and because he's just continuing to farm, easy return gank for Shrimp. Yes, they know the flash is still down, obviously, because he just burned it. And easy lane gank there, repel right to the minions. Olaf is so good at setting them up with the slow spam.
Yeah, and look at the difference in jungle pressure, just even between the games. Like, yes, Trash started the first game out with a couple of kills, but none of them crushed their lane off these. It was like, you got a kill, okay, you're going to survive again. Chris is double the CS and 2 assists up. Flares has nothing to do this game.
Yep, Trashy definitely having a rough start here. And Flares is the one paying for it.
800 gold lead for Coast as a result of all this pressure. The bot lane matchup is going well for NME, though, with at least spending all their time topside. The Otter push train is working just fine.
Oh, Shrimp, you monster. He's going top again for another lane gank. He's going to sit in the brush, wait for Chris to get there. He's just trying to... Well, all right, they're just going to keep feeding off the Malphite here. His pink ward is still up, too. I feel so bad for Flares. He's like, I got all my wards covered, guys. I got Tri-Bush warded. I got the river warded.
He's got all this.
Oh, that at least. They double banned jungle, and they did not first round pick the jungle.
All right. Chris clears the river ward. He's going to walk through Tri.
Yeah, he's just, basically he's doing work clearing wards right now because he knows the lane is going to press up. And so he's just buying time, waiting for the lane to push up, waiting for Flares to expose himself even more. They need to do this before level 6 though, because that is an escape for Flares if he does get level 6 off that wave. Bottom though, hooked into the turret.
And all as well. The problem is, though, that we're now in a situation where top lane will freeze and Flares can no longer get experience without being in gank range of Shrimp, which means he can't hit 6 without availing himself of this damage. He's going to just stand around recalling.
I don't think they want to let him get away. The thing is, yeah, he's staying in experience range.
Just barely.
Boom, does get it. And the other thing is, too, at this point that they've already killed him twice and denied him so much experience, you can't even go and try and make up for the lack of pressure early if you're Trashy. If you go to that lane now, that's a suicide mission. If there's he can almost 1 versus 2, but if Shrimp is around, then it's a definite win for Coast, and it only
they look elsewhere.
Creates problem. He does get level 6 and looks for the Malphite dive down bottom though.
They know there's no Elise. There's the flash body slam, and there's no way to get out of this one. Match gonna get jumped on. The spell shield's gonna mean nothing. Big knockups come through, and here comes the top laner. Chris has joined. Body drop will stay alive, and Flares still has the ulti. Pops it, gets the knockup, but a kill still comes through. Trashy dies. Oh dear Lord, Chris refuses to die. They're gonna get 3. Conquan with one last strike gets a double kill, and that went horribly.
Conquan was thinking about letting Shrimp have that one, but then he was like, you know what? You got 2 of the early kills. I'm gonna grab this one so I can rush into my Moby boots and make plays as well. Oh, that was terrible. Enemy, they were trying to run away from the problem. Trying to use the Malphite teleport down bottom and create something with his level 6, but Chris follows them. and answers, and he even got out of it alive.
What a heartbreaker for NME. They'd been winning the bottom lane. They're up 20 CS still.
Yeah.
And it just got turned
The
around.
problem, not only did they fail to run away from the problem, but they brought it down to Otter's lane as well. All right, so they get in, they get the flash body slam double here, and Matchme is dead at this point. But Chris comes in, and Conquan gets a flay, double flay here for some tower range, getting body drop low. At this point, Malphite's already used his ultimate, so he does basically only auto attack. Oh no, he did use his ultimate right there. They weren't able to finish off Chris though, because he got tower aggro. Unlucky there.
Yeah, body had it, then dropped it, and it went to the AD carry instead.
Nice. Oh. Chris looking to get a good chunk out of flares. Probably can't get the kill. He shorts it a little bit. So you do that because you want the instant pickup.
Right.
But a little bit short.
Chris on the chase. Forces the flash all as well. Not a lot burned for that.
Yeah, at this point, though, it's going to be really hard to stop the Stampede. You've got the Sivir and a really strong Olaf at this point. So Coast's going to try and knock down the some outer turrets as quickly as possible and get into the open field. Right now, though, NME make use of the Tristana, so they strike first. Okay. Bottom turret down. Shrimp is on the top side as well. They don't know this quite yet, but they could try and train into the dragon here, and they do it anyway.
Okay.
So Shrimp needs to make something happen up on top there. They know Malphite does not have the flash. See what he can do with the ultimate, though. Shrimp should actually start tanking this.
They go for the turret first. There's the stun. There's the jump on in. Flares goes for the ulti. Lands some damage, but Shrimp repels up. All is well. Goes back in, and he will not even die with the flash out.
All right, so they did make it happen. They are going to get the top turret there. But Tristana, tower killer extraordinaire.
You know, this makes the game actually fairly close here. Enemy are up a dragon, and with this turret kill, the gold will be within only 1,800. It's actually not that catastrophic. I mean, it's pretty big, but with a scoreline like that, you'd expect a much bigger one.
Varying degrees of catastrophe.
Yeah. I mean, like, this is, you know, like a 5.0.
Look at that.
We're not full San Andreas
Every time we
status.
pass over the red quadrant of the jungle, though, I'm going to point out those words, because both games we've had the jungler really early go place one of those pink wards behind it. Yes, it is difficult to check that brush. And you get a lot of value out of those, but someone did walk by it, and Coach just pinged it out as well. So you'll be able to snag it this time. But other than that, it's complete vision control once again for Coach. So Conquan made use of his kill that he took. Oh, through the minion line.
They just keep finding flares. The poor Malphite did not rock solid this game. 0-4 already. Shrimp says, hi, I would like some gold, please. Sinks his fangs into it. There's the repel away. And there's the push back in. This turret's gone.
It's already taking up aggro.
Jeez. And Flares, honestly, continues his struggles from the LCS split.
Yeah. What's the level of catastrophe now? We need a graph. Catastrophe. We should color code it as well. Right now for Flares, it's definitely in the red. 0-5 start for him. Talking about nerves for this team and talking about being an emotional team.
Oh, there. Mash! Had to summon a heal to get away from this one.
Does
really
live, though,
there.
because of it. It's got to be hard to keep your head in the game and think clearly. 0-5, 54 CS on the Malphite. He's definitely a one-hit wonder here with the ultimate. All he is an R button for the enemy squad, and they have to pick a fight with numbers advantage and use the Malphite ultimate to force it and try and blow somebody up quickly.
Yeah, but
they
with
can't handle a sustained fight.
Yeah, you're asking what level of catastrophe. Well, with the skin Flares using, it's basically like the bad guys won Pacific Rim. That's roughly what it looks like here with Mecha Malphite just getting wrecked in the ocean.
All right. I gave you a long time to come up with something.
I mean, I was
that was
to say
pretty
it.
good.
I appreciate that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just like waiting for you to stop talking.
Okay. You just tell me to shut up like you do on PTL.
Hey, on PTL, I said Coast is going to win the series. They're on the way for it right now, 1-0, and fairly far ahead now in Game 2, and this is just looking so rough for NME eSports here. And we've seen teams turn it around in the middle of series, even the middle of games. You don't want to call it just yet. But Coast right now definitely looking good. 3-0 on Shrimp, despite the 2 bans against him every single game. Chris didn't get Gangplank and doesn't care, playing Olaf doing amazingly still.
Yeah.
Now, enemy's wave clear is ridiculously good. Victor Braum is, I think, probably the hardest 2 champions to push against. You just can't really deal with it. Oh, no! Body drop flashed too late, and the Q came from before it.
Yeah.
Pekin was going to be safe anyway with the Lantern. There was almost no way he goes down, but Body drop actually has been having some pretty bad mechanical misplays.
Didn't get anything to connect there. Used everything he had, ultimate as well. And no play in the mid lane here for enemy means they just have to wait and sit in this. As Coast once again, 1-3-1, shove them up to their secondary turrets. Just trying to gain gold from all 3 lanes and starve them of vision. Enemy still trying to hold on to their own jungle here at least, putting up some defensive wards. I guess that ping on the red ward from enemy in the jungle was a guess because Coast have yet to clear it. Maybe they did not see it.
Looks like not so far. So right now, that one aggressive ward on the bot side still stands. Somehow Coast have 2 pink wards standing in enemy's jungle on the top side. Like, one's even in a fairly obvious brush that no one's walked through right now.
I mean, it's so hard to even clear wards up by Chris because of how scary he is right now. Yeah. When Olaf gets ahead,
he just runs you down.
Exactly. And Shrimp has constantly been up on that top side. Since enemy have no vision, it's very dangerous to try and take fights on that side of the map. Shrimp did such a great job this game, snowballing for them and gaining that foothold in the top side of the map. This is what it looks like when he's not on Nunu.
Yep. A lot of gank pressure and just absolutely stifling the game. So 3,000 gold lead. Pushing is very hard for Coast, which makes me think they're going to just have to play for Dragons for a long time. But NME eSports took the first one, and they're right now in control of the Dragon area. Well, Ash finally kills the ward off.
I'd say a decent plan would be to try and get enough True Sight to open up a bush gank opportunity. Try and clear your way with pink wards and sweepers, but they haven't been able to do it. There are a lot of little tricky wards here by Coast leading up to the Dragon, and they will see enemy anytime they try and venture that way.
All right, enemy still in position, 20 seconds to go. Olaf making his top lane push happen, and Flares can't do enough damage to scare him off hitting the turret, really.
Yeah, enemy's window of teleport advantage has just run out as well, just in time for Dragon, so.
Oh, but they found body drop on a ward. Goodbye, not a chance.
One of those wards we were talking about. Didn't quite have enough upgraded, they have 0 upgraded sweepers. Actually.
Well, body drop can't even buy one yet. He's only level 7 right now to Conquan's 9. Dragon's gonna be easy. There you go, first Dragon on the board, under 17 minutes here, but a long way to go. We're looking at a 41-minute Dragon 5 for Coast.
Yeah, but this game is just so far and away in Coast's favor. The first game was a completely different story.
For what it's worth, on the major players, the Victor and Tristana themselves are actually, you talked about bursting out the Olaf and hoping that it's going to work. Inox and Otter themselves are actually equal to their gold, equal in gold to their lane opponents. Of course, those aren't the guys who are fed, so it's almost an irrelevant
Chris is the big problem. They're actually going to the source of it this time, though.
Well, exactly how much you're going to CC an Olaf. He presses R and walks away. Doesn't have to in this case. Level 11 on the Olaf. Flares will be 1v1ing Mash, who does not spell shield the Q or the E.
Saving it for the ulti, just in case.
Just in case. Chris will be playing defensive wave clear for now. Here comes the push, and of course, body drop with the shield will be able to block out most of that attempted clear.
Yeah, the thing is, it just puts the axe in the ground, though, and he can instantly pick it back up.
I thought it actually blew it up.
The axe?
Yeah, I
have it disappear?
I guess I'm wrong about that one. I know with Windwall it does, but I guess Braum shield works differently.
No, yeah, I think it just drops him out.
I know Braum destroys Sivir W.
Right, we'll take
and it doesn't actually bounce off of it, so we'll see next time. I just haven't played Braum Olaf before, so you might be right about this one. Mash and Conquan, though, uncontested in the bottom side. You saw Chris was able to defend the 1v2 with pretty much no difficulty. That same is not, or that situation, of course, the opposite now. Flares has lost that turret in the bottom side as well. Coast finding places to push. They're getting away from the Braum, away from the Victor, killing those turrets as well. And of course, they're not exactly fast-moving champions, so as long as Coast finds that spot to be in, the rotations are easy. 5,000 gold lead puts Coast up. And now Chris forces the rocket jump away from Otter. No one can contest this Olaf right now.
All right, they're closing in on the mid lane. That one should go down unless they get a good Gragas ulti.
Gotta respect it. Peeking Wolf taking a lot of damage, trying to get away. He will walk with his life, but takes plenty of damage doing so.
Man, they have just dumped all of their wards in this blue side jungle. There's no way enemy can transition from mid lane down to bottom lane safely, or even look at collecting their own blue buff. Dragon is down and Baron Cup again 30 seconds. They may want to reconsider where they've dumped all their wards.
They
but
both just recalled, so they've got a fresh full sight stone. The sweeper's going to come back from cooldown in a second with Beacon Wolf here, and those wards can be moved.
Crisp, fresh sight stone.
Fresh. Like laundry in the morning, just freshly ironed. It's ready to go. Starts the collar, the sight stone.
Had the Luden's Echo Rush here for Inox, so he is just looking to double down on that burst.
Yeah, oh yeah, you're right.
Blow Chris up. Basically, the optimal way for NME to get a team fight would be an amazing Gragas ultimate that does knock everyone else back so they can blow up Chris and everyone can just focus on him when he charges in. Then his ultimate actually will work against him if he doesn't get knocked away with the rest of the team.
Well, it'll be one to watch for. Chris did go Hex Drinker as his second major purchase, really. So he's got at least some magic resist. We'll see if Cowl comes next or not. But he's at least got a little bit to defend against that damage. Tristana sitting on 1.5 items, only got the Zeal so far, and a long way to go. Can afford Zerkard Reeves, and that's it right now.
The axe does disappear, by the way.
Ah, thank you.
It's just such a short cooldown. Gets it in a couple of seconds anyway.
Yeah. Base is what, like 6.5 right now? 5.25.
Well, he rushed Black Cleaver here for
20%
right off the bat.
All right, mid lane still being pressured. Coast up 3 turrets to 2. Enemy's mid lane is basically done for. Chris is split pushing the bot side. He has teleport, of course, so the rest of the team postured around Baron. The wards have not been fully moved in just yet. We don't have any deep wards on this top side jungle from Coast. The ones on the right have mostly disappeared, and Chris around on the backside. Inox got to be a bit careful, but he's got a Gragas. You can see that Q did barely any damage with Luden's there.
Yeah, when this mid turret goes down, though, it's really big. I remember Coast team, they're all about getting you out in the open and popping Sivir ultimate to chase people down. Baron down at 4,000 HP. Will they have a miracle steal here?
And Malphite's coming around. Who can they find? Oh, the stun from Shrimp buys time, but there's the Q in easy repel, and it just means that Flares gets hooked back in. That ulti was suicide. Now Body Drop chains in, but for what? There's no one to follow up the damage. He flashes back out, and now Chris is on the chase. Force the team away. Cocoon's gonna land max range. Body Drop has no escapes left. Pops the shield. He's gonna die. No, he stays alive, but the burst damage comes out of Inox. But here's the chase. Peeking Wolf still wants some damage, but he's gotta be careful. One more attack will do it. Can they find the damage? Rocket up for Otter. Flashes in. They get Peeking Wolf, but the Cocoon hits him again. And they're still trading blows back and forth. Trip into the front line. One hit away from down as well. Body Drop gonna be, the flash, but it's gonna be enough afterwards with the axe coming through. Trashy barely slinks away. Flare still a tank. A shutdown for Inox. Dodges the axe, and it's a 3 for 2 in favor of enemy.
I keep seeing people use ultimates on Elise in spider form and keep seeing him get outplayed. It's like, what did you expect? She's been very popular for a very long time. You know, regardless of the very beginning of that fight, though, enemy were able to recover. That's going to be a really long one. I want to look at most of this here to see how they were able to manage the recall. So, yes, he's able to repel the ultimate, and then they get the hook in here to isolate. Chris still hasn't channeled teleport there. He starts it mid-fight. So Chris just starts channeling it now, and they do have them on the run. Flash, so the Cocoon just hitting Body Drop there. Not the ideal target. Trashy got a really good ultimate. Conquan just went for the suicide to try and force the fight, thinking that they had the advantage because Malphite was used so early, but Chris actually has sustained a bunch of damage when going for Body Drop. And trading all of Olaf's life for all of Brom's life, or 90% for 90%, is a terrible trade.
Absolutely is. Chris was the big carry of this team, but it still leaves Coast with control over Dragon. With the gold lead, they have 5,500 up. Dragon number 2 now picked up by these guys.
All right, so the Dragon stacking returns for Coast. They still have their peak ward down there in Baron Pit as well. Enemy weren't able to get back in time to clear it, so they'll be able to make use of it once again. Call out the wards in the back. As well, they know that the pink ward is at the top of the river because they saw the teleport channeled on it. They can clear that one at their leisure.
Right now, enemy's host just seem to rest on Inox. Peek and Wolf said this is a carry style mid lane. Right now, he is that highest CS in the game.
Yeah, and he got a couple of kills off that last team fight as well.
He's actually the richest as well, despite all these kills and the lane dominance of Chris. Inox himself is actually the man to watch. Void Staff is next. That's actually really big for piercing through the Hexdrinker of Chris. And he was the guy who made them win that last team fight, so all eyes on the victor.
Yeah.
If enemy want to be that this game.
Trashy also with the...
Oh, he had the ulti on Otter, wasting Buster Shot.
Did some damage.
Great. He's going to lifesteal it back.
But yeah, once again, even though Trashy had such a bad early game and Shrimp got multiple ganks off that created a lot more pressure, that was a key ultimate for Trashy there. As we said, you know, he separated them during the team fight. It bought time for enemy to burst down the front line. And that was what they were going to have to do to get back in this game. Step number 1 complete. They'll have to do it multiple times, though.
Yeah. But they're looking for ways to repeat those steps. Righteous Glory's coming out next for body drop. He wants to get the engage. By contrast, Conquan has a Zeke, so there's, again, a big damage threat. Olaf can do it. Azir, of course, can do it, but now a max crit Sivir is a big threat.
Yeah, the skipping the Harbinger could be big here for NME.
Right now, Coast going to back out.
Honestly, going for a Righteous Glory when you have a Malphite Gragas on your team, I guess they're just doubling down, and they really want to make that pick work. And he used the Righteous when Malphite's next to him, so he can speed boost as well.
Uh-oh, the hook on a
But he
Flares takes a lot of damage, has to ult away, gets some minions, still cocooned. The burst comes through, Dash is gone! It's a 1-for-0, and they can't get the damage they need from the front line. Shrimp has to run away, another 1-for-0, a small lead here. Otter will not take any further damage, and yet again, enemy find it.
That Victor, Inox with the burst combo on Mash, and Trashy follow-up ultimate. Caught him out way too close to the damage sources there. Inox didn't let Chris get into the front lines quick enough. And he took the brunt of it himself.
It's interesting. You know, as I look at the team compositions, I mean, Coast comp is fairly short range. Sivir is the shortest of all AD carries. And there's no true tank here, so Victor has really easy targets to go for in the front side.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is that Chris is supposed to be the point man on the front line, but look, Mashme is the furthest person up, trying to follow up on a cocooned tank, while the Victor and honestly all of the rest of the damage as well is right next to him.
Yeah.
I feel like they tunnel visioned on the cocoon hitting flares. Just because they initially caught flares out. So even though flares ultimate defensively, it actually had the same effect where everyone focused him anyway and everyone focused the tank. And his backline got to free fire, so worth it.
Yeah. Well, in the battle of the Kaiju here, and Flair's starting to turn it back around there. Maybe rising action happening. Enemy once again. The hook
hey,
on the
he can
Flair.
take hits and he can take CC.
He certainly can. And Peek nearly dies again. The flash in from Inox nearly drops down Peek and Wolf, and he's actually cut out now. He's got nowhere to go. A barrel will do it. Flares gets the first kill of the game.
All right, Chris is split pushing here, so what do? Do they decide to all in this Baron under the harassment of the Elise, Thresh, and Sivir? It looks like they make the call to continue. They have to commit now. They have to get this Baron and get this empowered recall.
All right, Shrimp trying to go in. There's the teleport in. He will not finish the turret, but there's the fight. The hook towards body drop. He's up in front. Now Chris, though, is he trapping himself on the side? No, he's going to be just fine. And for the cost of a teleport, they stopped the Baron and nothing else is gained.
Ooh. A lot of damage onto the top turret as well, but the front line for NME.
Ooh. Oh, there's the engage. Finally, Flares lands the knockup, but these guys are fairly tanky.
Nothing Shrimp can do. He's going.
Oh! It was close, but Inox gets the kill after all. And enemy are closing this game up. The gold lead down to 5,000. And despite Coast having all the gold in the world.
Yeah. I mean, it's a combination of, you know, mispositioning and missteps from Coast, as well as the front line from NME playing really well. Trashy has had some good barrels and body drop. Basically, they've just done a good job of taking a lot of hits and a lot of the skill shots. Braum is a great pick when, you know, you're facing that very scary combo of the Elise plus Thresh pick combo. The thing is, they're all both skill shots and they both only are single targets. So with 3 members on NME willing to take those single target CC, It makes the late game for Coast a lot more difficult to pull off. And the openings that they've already given NME may be enough to pull them right back in this game. Dragon coming up again, though, and neither team has been able to get there on time. So 10 seconds, and both teams sort of scrambling for vision here.
Chris bought home guard for it. He realized, oh, I got to get there right now.
Flares does have teleport, so he will be able to get some damage on the turret. Enemy are just going to try and poke, keep Coast here while they get the top turret there with Flares.
They're going to get Scuttled. Shrimp goes over the wall to harass Trashy. And a good smite means he does take Scuttler away. His smite's not going to be up for 45 seconds, though. So again, that will be a cooldown to deal with. Top lane Outer will be going down slowly but surely to Flares. Now he TP's in. Here's another battle attempt. Chris stuck on the front lines. Conquan hooks in Trashy. Dragon goes over to Coast, but now the battle is there. Botted up taking a lot. Chris very low, but kites back out. Otter goes in for it, but gets hooked in by Conquan. He's got to be careful. Flayed back out, but there's the burst. Peak Wolf can't get out. Neither can nowhere to go. And Victor is slaughtering Coast right now. Another kill comes through. A 3-for-0.
So once again, what's happened here is Chris pops his ultimate, charges to the backline, but he's separated by that beefy front line of NME. This time it was only body drop, putting up the unbreakable, and that one spell is enough to trade for 80% of Olaf's life bar. Chris runs in, Chris runs out. He gets bursted down, they kite him out, and NME still have plenty of backup tanks, so they easily take the fight inside Dragon Pit, and they're going to take Baron after it as well.
This lead was so massive for Team Coast, and now NME eSports have shrunk it to 1,300, and they hold a Baron buff.
It's why people put so much priority on having a true tank, because if you don't have one and you make those mid-game mistakes like Coast have already made too, then that's all the window that your opponents need. We saw there, Inox and Otter were able to do enough damage to Chris that he wasn't able to stay in the backline. And then Coast's own backline, just easy targets for Flares there, gets all three. They can't escape the Dragon Pit. And NME,
dude, where was this Inox all season? This is the Inox we saw from Challenger back in spring. He played that fight so amazingly, didn't have to ult to push away the Olaf, the Q kiting work, his second rank upgrade, and then saving the cooldowns, landing an R and a double hit E onto the backline, crushing those, and now the push comes through. Mid lane inhibitor turret's gonna be going down, and off the back of Inox's team fighting, NME eSports looking to knock down an inhibitor. They've got to respect Chris a little bit, but Conquan's at half. Mash's crit will end up in a couple of seconds. Zeke's Harbinger once again calms down. Oh, the hard engagement. Peek Wolf's not going to take the damage they need. Flares gets hooked in, maybe a bit hasty there, but they will still target some of this, and so tanky he is. It finally goes down, but gets the health bars very low. Coast will save the inhibitor, and not a good engage from Flares.
Whew. Yeah, not much follow-up there. Inox half-heartedly got a Victor ultimate almost there on top, but no extra damage to back up the ultimate there from Flares. Not only has he been behind the whole game, but only Sunfire cape as far as added damage. No Abyssal Scepter coming out. I would think that an Abyssal Scepter would be on the table to try and help out with Inox damage as well.
But he's so squishy, though. He's not really threatened by that much magic damage.
I mean, Azir and Elise is decent, but...
I know, but to spend 2,700 gold on 50 MR just feels... I mean, I understand you on like the damage point.
Maybe if he wasn't so...
If he wasn't 1 in 6.
So far behind.
Yeah. If he had a Randuin's already, I could see it, but yeah, I would be... It'd be so bold for Flares to do that build.
I just love it. Love the item on him so much. Yeah. It's such an efficient item.
It really is. You're right about that, Kobe.
All right.
Ward clears across a wall. Enemy still on the push. Baron buff ends in 20 seconds, but it's enough to look for top lane tier 2 here. Otter is alone, though. He's got to be a bit respectful of the engage, and Mash will wave clear pretty cleanly. Close hook there by Conquan.
Yeah, I mean, they do have Sivir and Azir to try and hold turrets. Chris is going to take one. Ultimate is down.
He's got teleport, but Flares has the ulti, and Chris has got to be a bit respectful here. Goes back in for the fight. Flares got to be a bit careful. Chris could win this fight. Oh, didn't pick up the axe, though.
So you can ultimate, Olaf ultimate, and then channel your teleport, but it being down, Flares knows that he could have interrupted. It's just that he can't take the 1 versus 1 to stay there in the first place. So end up with inhibitors traded. No, they didn't actually even get the mid one. They had to back off as well.
In a 5v4, I guess, sorry, it was a 4v4 because, of course, Malphite was bot lane. But the 4-0-4 Olaf not there, and yet, yeah.
Very good timing for Coast as well, because Chris is able to get back, full health, still has teleport. He can split once again and force the advantage 1 versus 1 with Flares on the top side of the map before the dragon even comes up. This is really good time management by Coast here. Chris has plenty of time, full minute to work up that top lane. You'll see him split push, try and control the top wave, and create pressure on the top side of the map. When dragon spawns, Coast can force it. Number 4 is not game-breaking, but that forces the all-important number 5.
It also just helps, yeah, it just helps the siege play so much. They can wave clear away from enemy, they can wave clear themselves, try to make the push happen. We'll have some level of impact here. And we'll see as the top lane Azir, or the mid lane Azir turret rather, crumbles. Coast pushing with Chris up on the top side. He's still deathless, but he's just been forced out so easily by Inox, who's got a Void Staff and now a Death Cap. So a really, really high damage Victor. Again, highest gold in the game is Inox. And there's really no major MR items yet for Chris. His Vector's Cowl, not enough to keep him alive here. Yeah. But he, of course, wins against Malphite. So that is progress being made. He's gotten about 3 turrets by solo pushing. Yeah,
Kosa realized that they have to keep him in the isolation, in the isolated top lane there, because he's not a true tank. Olaf doesn't build full tank stats. An enemy have 3 full tanks. There's no way that Olaf is going to be able to trade front lines with NME.
Yeah.
So they keep him up top, try and have him in the 1 versus 1 where he does have the advantage.
We'll see as we progress now. Mid lane a bit under fire. Righteous Glory pop. Trashy tries to bait a flash. And it gives some time for Jasana to get some damage down. This inhibitor down well below half. Body drop blocks the damage output, and the inhibitor will get killed. Olaf is recalling. He's got home guard. Enemy gonna run away in time though. And Conquan, they're gonna pop Sivir ulti. Here comes the attempted push. Flash Flaze catches one and he gets honor. That's massive, and he goes down to the storm of crits. Pika Wolf is on the chase. Lands it slow. He's got Rylands, and here comes the teleport in. Chris wants it. Inox will go down, and it's 2 kills picked up. Now the chase. There are minions already inside the base. If they kill him, they can end the game. And maybe just like that, Coast could take game 2. 30 seconds on the respawn. Up the gut they go. Malphite has to wave clear. Gragas, his only teammate, and Coast will not be stopped. Here they go. The minion lines respawn. Thankfully for enemy, a super minion is here.
Conquan again with the engage. Really big playmaker for Coast. They're going without minions!
And they get some damage on the Mash. He had turret aggro down to 300 health, and more time is bought, but here comes the new wave. Problem is Tristana's up, and Flare's bought enough time. Enemy live another day.
Yeah, oh man though, that play from Conquan, we're gonna get another look at that, but he, once again, last time it was Alistar, this time it's Thresh. He goes in for the flash play, and Body Drop actually flashes out of the hook, only to have Otter get hit, which is even worse for the team, and enemy crumble after that. The good thing is that, or good thing for enemy is that Coast tried to go for the win rather than taking the secondary turret here.
Yeah.
So they've lost so much map pressure. Enemy get back out onto the field first, so they get vision around Baron instead of Coast actually getting it after being the ones who actually won the fight.
Which means in darkness, enemy could start this or look for the Baron bait itself. Lantern used to keep Shrimp safe, and it's going to be Scuttle Crab. Looks like secured by enemy here. It gets it out of range, and now it's guaranteed vision for enemy. They still got to deal with bot lane. They do not have teleport up, and these turrets could die just to the minion wave pressure. But of course, with mid lane down, there's something to keep this alive.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Oh, they took out the Nexus turret by themselves.
Wow, despite the supers coming out from the mid lane wave, that's a pretty big deal. It's going to make it even more rough, but this bot inhibitor will respawn fairly soon. Coast will soon have a super minion disadvantage, just roughly 2 minutes.
The focus still on stacking up those dragons, though. Coast, once again, trying to get back to number 5. So it will be another 6 minutes, and it can wait it out.
45 minutes on the clock is roughly when we're looking at a Dragon 5 attempt for Coast here. That will be both inhibitors respawned by then. Victor will clear the last super wave at the bot side, and enemy Enemy can regroup. That scuttle was actually pretty massive. It precluded Coast from playing for any Baron Bates at all.
Yeah, and then actually they're going to be able to get in and clean out a lot of that vision. There's a lot of money invested by Coast into the vision around Baron, but then they just abandoned it. So Enemy going to be able to clear out a good chunk of it.
They can't get it all, though.
Misses one, though.
There's 2 in that pit and no pink wards in inventory, no sweepers up. This is very risky for Enemy. They're going to try. Flares tanks it up, but Coast are right around the wing. Chris shows up, gets a lantern to safety if he wants it. And Flares and Body Drop both take a fair bit of damage. Chris in the front line already. But he loses the ultimate.
It's a huge ultimate down there, and only a small chunk onto the front line of Enemy.
Chris is missing flash. He can get knocked into the team and just get bursted down right now. Again, the Baron attempt is started. Enemy hoping to bait in Coast here. The battle lines are drawn, but so much damage comes out from Baron Nashor here.
Yeah, Baron is softening up the tanks. Good thing Enemy have 3 of them, though. Sivir making her way down mid lane, trying to make Enemy pay for this Baron bait. And Mash is going to get some damage on the turret as nobody's going back yet. Malphite goes back, teleports in behind. He's
going to teleport in for the flank. Can they get the kills they want? Who's he going to find? Peek and Woof. Otter comes in. There's a bit of damage, and he's still got to run as that Azir ulti already popped. Chris in the front lines. Flares is tanky. How much can they deal? Shrimp finds Otter. It's going to be a bit tight. There's the Chaos Storm, and where's the rest of the engage going to be? Chris gets the ulti back in the front line, and he's unstoppable, killing a body drop. Otter's next. Peek Wolf takes him down. It's a 2 for 0, and Coast once again are in control.
And they got the mid turret during that as well. They got the objective, plus they won the team fight here. Coast going to pressure. Can they do Baron? There's no vision currently inside of the pit, but Enemy have to know they just walked over to it.
Now, afraid of NACS's wave, they do not go for the base. They instead say, let's cash in on Baron Nashor. It will not be up during the impending Dragon
too low.
fight.
They don't even want to try and contest. And that's going to mean bottom inhibitor, next target here for the Baroned up Team Coast. They can just walk up and try to take it. No turret there. I think that they should still go for the split, though, just because of how good Chris is in the 1 versus 1. He drops off so heavily in the 5-on-5 team fight.
Yeah, went for Tiamat, though. He's actually still building for the damage. Really wants to win those fights.
It makes a split push even faster.
It does. Doesn't have to rely on multiple axe throws. Just auto attack, an active, and a Q pretty much clears the entire wave now.
Yeah, plus he's got teleport advantage, so if he's on the other side, then he could draw flares away and teleport into the rest of the team.
Full upgrade now for Inox 760 ability power. He can still do plenty of damage, especially with how greedy Chris is building. You can see Shrimp, Banshee's Veil, and a Locket make it a little bit better for him. You have to be careful about that back line. They are squishy.
10,000 gold down for Enemy. They have to stick together. Coast are going for the 4-1, so they are trying to use that split push. Chris going to make his way and pressure the bottom inhibitor.
9,000 gold puts Coast ahead right now. A lot of it on their top laner and jungle, the kill leaders of this game. Still deathless, Chris. He can't get in on team fights very easily, but his split push has been deadly. Baron buff is up.
So it's not that he can't get in, it's that the rest of the team can't follow through the 3-man tank line and the Braum wall being popped up. Chris gets in. He just has to run out as soon as he does.
He can't stay in. Here's the battle. Inox, you can see pushing Chris around.
In and out.
Down to 1,000 health. Trashy can save the ulti and pop him. The flash used. One more hit for Chaos Storm. Oh, 70 health. He survives after all. But be careful because this Elise is low on health. Flares has the ult still up. Will there be follow-up? No, he's getting destroyed.
Oh, no!
Has to ult out. And the Chaos Gravity Well actually keeping the team in a decent spot. Conquan actually staying alive somehow. Oh, middle inhibitor goes down. Coast in the lead.
Conquan went on the death sentence attached to Unstoppable Force ride. Chris came back after the home guard, though. Now he's under fire once again. Still doesn't have his ultimate back up.
And it's going to be him getting pulled in. Keegan tries to buy some time. It won't be quite enough damage from Chris. Chris will live. Life steals 150 health per auto attack.
Oh, that Gragas barrel. It was unnecessary to get him back.
Yeah.
And because Chris had flash to reposition himself, turned it into his advantage and barely lived, able to come back in with the home guard teleport as well. So Enemy down another inhibitor here. Bottom one still exposed. Coast going to try and march back up there as quickly as possible to get 2 stacking. Baron buff has worn off, though, so that's one good thing for NME.
Oh
no, they're walking in Fog of War!
Trash, he gets found, he gets bursted out, he gets nothing to do. Flash at the wall, still goes down. A 1-for-0. Chris feels totally fine here. And Dragon's up in 30 seconds, an easy pickup now. It will be Coast's 5th. And after a very scary mid-game for them, where they lost about 7,000 gold worth of a lead.
Yeah.
They got a few good team fights in a row. They played around the Barons well enough.
That pick right there, too, is just kind of the nail in the coffin for NME. They no longer have a jungler to even try and steal away 5th Dragon. So all they can do is wait in their base, hope that they can pull out the outplay in the 5-on-5 team fight when Coast come up the middle with Dragon 5 for their exposed inhibitor.
This gets pretty dangerous.
It's going to have to be a huge outplay here. Gragas Sparrow and Malphite Ultimate will have to do a lot of work.
All right.
Wow, they're going to actually delay their use of Dragon 5, which does run out fairly quickly, while they wait for the split push. Remember, Chris did use his teleport to home guard in last fight.
Yeah, respect the Malphite. He's definitely what could get this team back in. Coast lost their lead off those Malphite ultis and the big Victor burst. Looks like a Lich Bane will be last for Inox here, sitting at 869 ability power. This is a lot of damage out of this Victor. You've got to respect that. Coast trying to put together magic resist tanks. Shrimp now at full build. Conquan actually very poor. Very few tank items on him. Ruby Sightstone being his biggest health giver, practically.
He's made a lot of plays, though. Let's see if he can pull out another one.
Well, up the top side can basically ignore backdoor bonus and the turret itself. Inox is sent to defend this.
Well, yeah, they can no longer have flares be the one to try and hold against him. That's critical. There's no Victor around to burst down a member of Coast, and they're slowly whittling down the exposed inhibitor.
Yeah, I think all enemy can do is try to wait out Dragon and try to make it time out. 1.5 minutes already spent. Half the duration. There's the hook, but Flares is tanky. They pop the Righteous Glory, and in they go for some damage, and knock him. A body drop is one hit away from dead, and he will get taken down by Shrimp. There is no Victor to be seen. Finally should have been in the fight. Chaos Storm doing not much of anything as it hasn't yet been cast. Inhibitor finally goes down. Flares the next one to die. Chaos Storm doing no damage at all. The knockup's gonna come through. They put Shrimp towards the turret, but Otter can't do the damage required. Down goes the team. It's a 4-for-0 so far. Trash the only man alive, and this will be the game. It took him 47 minutes. It took him a bit of a comeback, but Coast have done it, and they are now 1 game away from rejoining the North American LCS.
Another Dragon 5 and another victory for Coast. This time they did have some teamfight hiccups in the middle of the game, but they were able to recover pretty easily. Chris with the split push there on Olaf.
Yeah, the early pressure from Shrimp absolutely destroying the top lane matchup, giving a win condition, I feel like, for a team that, you know, if Coast didn't have the gold lead, it didn't feel like they could win team fights. The run at the front line sort of semi-bruisers, the Elise, the low gold Thresh, the Olaf couldn't withstand Victor damage. If there weren't the 7,000 gold lead, I don't feel like Coast could have won the 5v5s.
Yeah.
And if Chris weren't ridiculously far ahead, I don't know how well he would even split push either. So very good ganks by Shrimp gave an avenue for Coast to knock this game open.
It only took Coast a couple of, you know, missteps in team fights to actually realize that they needed to keep Chris isolated, use that one-on-one advantage to gain map pressure, and they were able to do it and close out the game. So heading into game number 3, all the pressure is on NME.
Yeah.
This is their last game, backs against the walls. They have to win this one to get even one more game on this stage.
Yeah, it's true. They get dropped to Challenger if they lose one more game. They've now backs against the wall, have to win the next 3 straight to stay in the LCS for the beginning of 2016. And it comes back to that same point of Chris got ahead, really far ahead, whether it was because of his lane matchup or because of ganks over in game 2. It's just going so well, and NME have yet to stop him. If they can find a way, maybe it looks better, but for now, it's been all Coast all the time. We're going to send over to the analyst desk for their take on Coast's second win of the season.